Okay, good morning. Today is Tuesday, the second day of Shevat. And today we finish actually the chapter 15 in the Tanya. The Alter Rebbe is talking about going the extra mile. The Beinoni, he was talking about the person who is the intermediate, and that there is two types of a Beinoni. One who is considered Oved Elikim, one who serves Hashem, and one is called Lo Yavadai, one who serves him not. Both of them are perfect when it comes to action, when it comes to doing the right thing, saying the right thing, thinking the right thing, only doing everything perfect. But it still can be called not serving God, because when he's doing it out of nature. You see sometimes kids that they just don't like to go play. They just they'll sit and read books all day long. Not even video games will attract them. So some people just have this nature. Some people are more introverted. Or someone once came to the Rebbe, told him about he's kind of melancholy, morosh chayretko. And the Rebbe told him, use it out and go study Torah. Because the one who has this type of personality, for that person is easier to sit and study Torah for hours and hours. Some people they don't have Sitzfleisch, as they say in Yiddish. They can't sit in one place for 2 minutes. Other people can sit for hours and hours and read books. So that person, the Beinoni, it's called Lo Yavada, doesn't serve God. He had a choice to use this time that he has and studying something else other than Torah. But that love, the hidden love that there is in him, the love that is natural love that a Yid has to Hashem, that awakes him to go and do the right thing. But still, he's not considered working. He's not considered serving Hashem, because he's doing those things. He's already became part of his routine. When you're going the extra mile, when you're doing more than you used to, this is when you start serving Hashem. So this Alter Rebbe continues with this explanation using the example that is brought down in the Gemara. So let's look inside. So the Alter Rebbe ubezeh yuvan mashakasuv beGemara. The Oved Elikim eine mishe shene pirkei meya palmim ve'echad. Lo Yavodei eine mishe shene pirkei meya palmim levad. Says this explains the Talmudic statement that he who serves Hashem refers to one who reviews his studies 101 times, while he who serves him not refers to one who reviews his studies only 100 times. So you can ask, this one time makes such a big difference? Yeah, the answer is yes, because back in those days, they studied the Torah. It's called the oral law for a reason, because everything was orally taught. They didn't have those books. So in order to remember the teachings, they would study everything 100 times. That was the norm. Everything would be reviewed 100 times, again and again. Wouldn't that be wonderful today? If we would be able to sit and study everything 100 times, we would have the knowledge that we will gain will be amazing. They would study 100 times everything. So if you hear this lesson, listen to it again. You study 100 times, and that becomes ingrained in your mind. But that's the way they used to do things. So therefore, when a person would study back then 100 times, he was considered not serving God, because he's doing what is routine, what everybody else does, what he's used to do. When you go the extra mile, when you go one more time, one more than you used to, that's when you start serving Hashem. That's when you're going, you're investing something more. And the Alter Rebbe is going to explain why. So it says, this is so because in those Talmudic days, it was customary to review each lesson 100 times. And the Talmud brings there an example to illustrate this. This is the Talmud illustrates this by the analogy of the market of the donkey drivers. The drivers will charge 1 zuz for 10 parsa, a Persian mile, but demanded 2 zuz for driving 11 parsa. So 11 parsa is only 1/10 of the trip. But if you go the extra parsa, they demand another zuz. But driving the 11th mile exceed their customary practice. Therefore, says, therefore, this 101st revision, which is beyond the normal practice to which the student has been accustomed since his childhood, this is equivalent to all previous 100 revisions combined. They're going that one extra time is similar to all the 100 times compared to the 100 times combined. Not only is it compared, it says in fact, its quality surpasses them in its greatest strength and power, so that it is only this one extra revision which entitles the student to be called he who serves God. And the Alter Rebbe explains, because what happens? What do you have to do in order to get this extra time? You need to tap into something deeper within you. Something, the love of Hashem that is in you needs to be awakened to drive this will to do the one extra time. It says, says, in order to change his habitual nature, he must arouse within himself the love of God by contemplating God's greatness in his mind. In order to master the nature that is in the left part of the heart, the seat of the animal soul, which is full of blood of the animal soul originating in the klipa, shemimenu hu ateva. From there comes its nature. So the love that he needs to awaken, what type of love does he need to awaken? We're learning in Tanya, there's 2 types of love. There is the love that is created by understanding, by contemplating, and that is the ultimate higher level of the love. That this creates this contemplating in the greatness of Hashem, understanding your connection with the Eibishter, that arouses a love within the person, and that drives this decision to overpower the left side of his heart, meaning the desires, the material desires to do whatever feels good is overpowered by your decision, which is a result of the love that you contemplated. Then there is another type of love. This is the hidden love, the natural love. It doesn't come out of deep contemplation. Not everybody is capable to create a love out of the deep contemplation. Not everyone is in that level. It takes a lot to really think about the greatness of Hashem, and that should lead to create a love to Hashem. So there's the other type of love is the natural love, the hidden love that is already there, that all you have to do is to remind yourself that you're a Jew. You remind yourself that you're connected to Hashem. And this is not of great contemplation, it's more of saying to yourself that this is the truth. So the first type of love that the Beinani creates, that is called the Avodah Tama. That is a perfect service. As Alter Rebbe continues. So v'zoi avodah tama lebeinani. And this, to overpower one's animal soul through a love of God generated by meditation, this is a perfect service for a beinani. And if that doesn't work, then you have the other way. The other way the beinani can awaken his love. An alternate type of service for a beinani is to arouse to a revealed state the love of God inherently found hidden in his heart. Inherently, there is a love of God in everyone's heart, and that needs to be revealed, to be awakened. Thereby to control the nature that is in his left part of his heart. And this too is called service of God, although an imperfect service, it's not as big, it's not as deep, it's not as strong as the love that is created out of thinking and meditation and contemplating the greatness of Hashem. But it still is an avodah. It is still something that you awaken, you tell yourself, I'm a Jew, I cannot do it. It's still avodah, it's still fighting with the Yetzer Hara. Wage war against his nature and inclination by arousing the love hidden in his heart. So this is in both cases, still that person is called a Oyved Elokim, one who serves Hashem. If, however, he wages no war at all, not engaging even in the lesser struggle of arousing the love hidden within him. For example, when he studies only to the limit of his natural diligence, that although he employs his hidden love of God in his divine service, because after all, even if you do it without any war, you're still doing it while you're studying Torah. You could do other things. You could study science, you could study other things. So the fact that you study Torah is because of your hidden love to Hashem that is in you. But you're not doing it with, you don't have to struggle with this. You don't have to fight. You don't have to do this. You're not doing it out of, with serving Hashem. That's why he says, this love itself can in no way be credited to his service. And he's therefore called he who serves him not. So to be designated one who serves God, the Beinani must engage in a struggle with his evil inclination. Because the evil inclination is there. Even the person who is not attracted to do bad things, he still has an evil inclination. It's not as active, but it still has, the Yetzer Hara is there. It will be active in not going and not going the extra mile to do. That also could be a difficult challenge. There's a story in the Gemara about a sage was one of the 10 martyrs, that he was visited by Rabbi Yossi, I believe, and he asked him, why are you doing this? He was studying Torah when the times and the Romans, they forbid this Torah study. He knew he's going to die for this. And then he turns to him and he asks him, tell me, do you think I have a share in the world to come? So he asked, so the rabbi asked him, tell me, what did you do? Tell me something that you did, that you think that you deserve the world to come for that. So he told him that there was once that I collected money for tzedakah, and I had an aside money for Purim, and the money got mixed up. And I gave extra for tzedakah. I didn't. So he says he took the money and gave it all to tzedakah because it got mixed up. So he says, oh, in that case, then may my share be may I have a share with you, something like that. So the question is, this tzaddik, he was there, he was giving his life up to teach Torah. That was not enough for him to be secure that he has a share in the world to come. Only when he told him the story with some money that was mixed up and he gave extra, that is the only reason why he could have a share in the world to come. And the Rebbe explains this. The Rebbe says that sometimes people do things because of the nature, just like the Alter Rebbe explained in this chapter in the Tanya. Some people do things because could be that you're studying Torah because this is part of your nature. You want to study Torah. You don't care even to give up your life for that because you enjoy sitting and studying Torah. But usually this type of person, a person who is introverted, a person who is in that way that wants to sit and study Torah, usually that kind of person is also not very he's not very generous or not very spending or giving out. When he told him the story about the money, which he was extra generous, that showed him that he was doing something which went against his nature. So the idea is that when you're doing something out of habit, it's beautiful, but it's not serving Hashem. When you realize something that is difficult and you're going anyway, or even things that you're used to do, but you say, today I'm going to go the extra mile. I'm going to do a little bit more than what I want to do. I say Tehillim, today I'm going to say another extra chapter. A little bit more tzedakah, a little bit more this. When you go the little bit extra, that extra mile is really weighs against everything else that you did until now. So this is the end of the chapter, the end of today's shir. Thank you so much for joining. Mitzvah Hashem will continue tomorrow, B'ezrat Hashem.